provide the community with an opportunity to hear from each of the members that have been able to make it here representing the Board of Directors about their reflections, their thoughts, in some cases thoughts as an outgoing member of the board, as a continuing member, and as an incoming member of the board. And again, this is a part of our community. The board is elected by the members of MCC, that is all of us, all of you. So this is an opportunity to hear from them and to ask some questions, inshallah. And we also have Assalamu alaikum to all the people that are joining on the live stream as well. So I'd like to take this opportunity to first introduce Sister Sabine. If you could introduce yourself, and we could pass the microphone over to you. If you could just introduce yourself, say a word about your time here as a member of the board and your thoughts and reflections, please. Jazakallah khair.
Do you want me to take the podium? I think I'll go then. Or do you just want to go introduction? I'll go first. I kind of had something prepared, so Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I hope you guys are having a warm and wonderful Friday night and looking forward to a relaxing weekend, inshallah ta'ala. We just passed Rabiul Awwal into Rabiul Sani holidays, and the new year just around the corner, a new set of leadership, and a new board of directors ready to embark on a journey taking MCC's vision of service to the community to the next level. Tonight I was asked to give a reflection on my achievements in my tenure as the president of the board of directors here at MCC. I would like to begin with the famous quote by Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh. He said, "I've been a seeker and I still am, but I stopped asking the books and the stars. I started listening." And that's what MCC is all about, listening. When our team created the email alias MCC Listens, I hope Brother Munir is listening. Yes, when we created MCC Listens, we truly believed in that we will be listening, and through listening, identify our community's needs and be able to serve at our very best. Our community's needs, alhamdulillah, have been growing, and we just hope and pray that we fill those, mashallah, the big shoes, and keep on growing, inshallah. Truly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed our community with many incredible giant scholars and beautiful individuals who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes week after week. From our BOTs to the BODs, religious committees, Zakat committee, construction committee, and above all, our amazing volunteers. Around the building, you will see so many people just working hard. Nobody expecting an acknowledgement, just doing the good work, on and on, alhamdulillah. No man is an island truly sets in here at MCC. When we achieve, we usually do so because others have helped. Our media team has really brought MCC's name up high for quality media content on the web. From khutbahs to lectures and various workshops being live streamed and recorded every week, making them accessible to audiences around the globe. Our viewers have chimed from UAE, India, Mexico, Cuba, UK, and Puerto Rico. MashaAllah, it was a big achievement, MashaAllah, and may we be able to serve in that capacity, inshallah. Our Green Deen team, the Green Deen team, has really helped us putting our first foot forward in making MCC a green masjid by helping us go compostable, requesting community members to bring their own reusable water bottles instead of using single-use cups. This was a first step forward, being better and responsible consumers. We have, alhamdulillah, so far been able to serve our various ethnic communities by giving a sense of belonging, and I hope and pray we are able to build on the understanding and support of everyone coming together as one unit. It's so hard to pick just one or two things we as a team have accomplished here at MCC in these 2 years. Isn't it, Brother Shahid? Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, yes. Our community support in all that we have asked for and done is truly remarkable. You all do so many things that blow me and my entire team, I'm sure everybody shared that same thing, in a very beautiful, good way every day. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for everything. Thank you for making each day of work here at MCC something we can all be proud of. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Can't thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that beautiful opportunity of service. MashaAllah. We at MCC are here to be more responsible by bringing good change to the world we all live in, by inspiring each other to do more good. Here I see Catherine, mashallah, I'm so glad to see you here. Thank you. One of my mentors, one of my guides. Thank you so much, Catherine. There's so much to thank you for in here as well. Thank you. We here at MCC are here to be more responsible, bringing good change to the world we all live in by inspiring each other to do more good. Number one, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his last and final messenger, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through service to humanity, inshallah. I truly want to emphasize the we here. This organization would not have been here where it is here today without you all. Our volunteers are biggest assets, from both young to old, men and women. Every one of you have made MCC happen. I would also like to thank you all for making this journey of mine such a positive and rewarding experience. Thank you for sharing the vision of an integrated community. Thank you for your support and for acknowledging me as your representative out there in the broader Bay Area community. I would like to express my immense gratitude towards the next set of leadership for taking on this duty on behalf of all those who will cross this bridge to a better and much more complete Muslim community center, East Bay, inshallah. Inshallah, for our future generations to come, inshallah. One parting thought for the new board would be the simple act of saying thank you. Does wonders. Say much thank you to each other and keep the good work going. Jazakallah khair, inshallah khair. I just hope and pray for lots and lots of success for MCC and for everybody to have khair, barakah in their time and their efforts, inshallah. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Very, very difficult to follow what was just said by Sister Sabine, except to say that, mashallah, I know I agree 100% with everything that she said. Alhamdulillah. The only two things I would add, one thing she left out in there, that in the center of all that MCC activity, a lot of the time has been Sister Sabine and her efforts in keeping us together and working many tireless hours here. So I want to thank her. May Allah reward you and your family for all the time that you've spent here doing work that, that I think many people are not aware of. And I also want to take the opportunity to also thank Sister Catherine, because also I got an opportunity to work with her and then with Sister Sabine. And it's really an eye-opener in terms of how much time it takes to coordinate the efforts of everyone. And it does take a team to do that. The only thing I would ask is to please pray for us, for all the BOTs and the BODs, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects us from all sorts of fitna, that Allah keeps our community calm, that Allah allows us to serve the community and provide, to help serve the community in the way that's most fruitful to everyone here, especially during the very busy times where everyone congregates here at the time of Ramadan, the quiet times at the time of prayers, and all the other kind of foundational activities that MCC does. So that's all I wanted to share with you. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, I'm glad to be here, glad to be part of the MCC Board, Director Dublin at large. Fortunately, unopposed elected, so. I want to thank Sabine and brother Shahid for all the great work you're doing, and I know Sabine Sister Sabine has very young kids, and doing this with young children is mashallah commendable. I really thank Sister Sabine for doing that. So. In terms of my introduction, I've been in Dublin, Pleasanton community since 2001. I see a lot of folks there. Brother Sadiq, Brother Kalam, we've been part of this journey since MCC was built brick by brick. We started praying in a few houses. I don't want to give names of And then we've started praying the Jummah prayer in some of the community churches. Then we built around the ICPD. I was part of the ICPD board also for some time, and glad to be part of the MCC board. And I think MCC, mashallah, is doing a phenomenal job. One of the reasons wanted to give back to the community is, mashallah, I have 3 children. All 3 children have grown up in the in the Pleasanton, Dublin community. 2 of my children are married and settled down. One is a mechanical engineer from Berkeley. He's working in San Ramon. My daughter is also from UC Davis, and she also, all of them came to the Sunday school here. They were part of the community. A lot of people within Pleasanton, Dublin were part of the community building my children. It's not just the parents who build the children, but it's the community who builds the children. And one way for me to give back, I know it's not enough, but one way for me to give back is to serve MCC and give back to the community. So that's one reason I took up this position. The other passion I have, and I know MCC is doing a lot of good work on that, zakat and community service. I know Brother Munir does a lot of outreach and community service, and I am interested in doing a lot of community service and getting the youth involved in community service. There are a lot of 2 weeks back, for example, I was in a food bank in Contra Costa County, and they were saying 3 out of 8 people need the food bank services, right? And we are, alhamdulillah, we are blessed. We have whatever we have, whatever we have and whatever we thank is very little. So one way of thanking is to do community service, and I'm definitely want to be part of that. MCC is doing a lot. Want to be part of that and encourage the youth to be part of the community service with the food banks, or for example, Islamic Relief is an organization which is run by youth, and we can be part of that. You just walk in the streets of San Francisco, you see so many homeless. We need to do something about it. We as not only as a Muslim community here, but as a community across US, we need to kind of do something as that. So we can collaborate with a lot of organizations like Lighthouse Masjid and so on to kind of take that forward. So that's one of my vision and focus. So I'm glad to be part of the board, and I working with Brother Shahid and Brother Hanif and others, and the board of directors. So we'll take it to the next level. So Jazakallah khair, and thank you for the opportunity.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, thanks to all the member of the boards who are the outgoing member of the boards for their service for many number of years. My deepest appreciation and thanks for all the work you guys have done to put MCC to where it is today. It is becoming a model for a lot of organizations to follow in so many ways. And I think a lot of has been said in terms of the work that has been done. It's a volunteer position, and taking the time from your busy schedule, and we all know how busy life can be in the Bay Area. Even if you're not working, right? It's a very crowded place. Even going from one place to the other takes so long of a time. So to take the time off from there and be able to give it on a voluntary basis, it's a tough task. So thank you so much, Sister Sabine, and all the people who are, and Brother Shahid. I think Brother Shahid will continue with us, inshallah. But others who are going, thank you so much. So as much like Brother Naeem, I'm also one of the incoming board member. So thanks for the opportunity, and one of the things that, and also like Brother Naeem, I was part of ICPD, board member, and I've been part of Pleasanton community for over 20 years now. And so it's, a lot of community members that I know. And as part of MCC, board, one of my, passion will be is to really live up to the name of the community, right? Today, we call this one Muslim Community Center. I would like this one to be a center where we can bring the community together. We can bring the community together by organizing different kinds of activities. So, of course, everybody knows this one as a mosque. So religion is, is one part of it. Religious activities are one part of it. But it won't be just the religious activities that we should try to basically do, but also various different activities. In so many ways we can actually bring people together and serve them. Whether we, bring the youth in some ways to organize some youth activities, or other activities to educate people, whether it's religious learnings or non-religious learnings. For example, there are so many different activities we can organize which can bring people to the center, make them aware of it. Perhaps that way they will come together and know the people and also achieve some guidance. I know by looking at so many other centers where the activities are arranging from organizing different types of trainings, for example, vocational trainings, bringing basically, training to them so that they become more useful member of the society. So those are the kind of things I'd like to see us do, and also to really have more town halls, to learn from the community and ask them, what their needs are, what would they like to actually see, and organize a lot of those activities based on suggestions. So these are some of the things that I look forward to doing and contributing back to the community, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. If there's any questions from anyone in the community here, please go ahead and ask. And if whoever's answering the question, if you could repeat the question so that the people on the live stream can hear it. Or, go ahead. Yeah. Or they can just repeat the question.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, because this is what I do best. So, alhamdulillah, I listen to everything and I appreciate your kind words. But first of all, I want to start out with an issue that we face here at MCC, which is not really the purview of the Board of Directors, but it actually needs to be driven by the Board of Directors. So this won't fall with Sabine, but it will fall with Shahid. So when we have a town hall, inshallah, that you're going to actually organize and get more than this kind of stellar performance to show up at, you'll be able to answer, will we, before Ramadan next year, get those glass doors finished with handles, with safety panels? Will we get the ceiling closed off? Will we get the molding in the men's bathroom? And will we finally get someone to identify, since we know where the leaks are in the sprinkler system, can we actually bring on someone with enough know-how to fix the sprinkler system so that the $80,000 we spent on this landscaping doesn't go down the tubes for want of a sprinkler system? So I don't expect you to address it. I only ask that this board drive that before Ramadan next year, we're not faced with these dangerous doors that are handleless, that people are walking into and are unfinished. So I've been hearing about all the problems they face. It doesn't matter about the problems. What really matters is when it's going to be finished. My next question is, alhamdulillah, you have wonderful ideas. I would just like Brother Kadiri, if you could just give 3 specific examples of exactly what you think you can do, specifically what they are. I understand that you want to. I understand the concept, but 3 specific examples. And also, Brother Muhammad, when you talk about going out and increasing the number of activities we have that we can do here, I think 3 would be a stretch. Give me one well thought out plan where you will drive this board to bring in and achieve one of the goals that you have. Because one of the most difficult things we experience is we have lots of brilliant concepts, but we have a lot of volunteers, but you have to reach those volunteers through their interests. So how do you plan to reach those volunteers? And I think that for this group of women here and these men here, who are actually the only people who've been at the last 10 town halls that I can actually remember myself, if you truly believe town halls are the way to go to gauge community interest, how do you plan to get more than 12 people there? And then the last thing, just generally, not that I'm great on political correctness because I actually abhor it, but I think a woman who stays home is a working member of this community. And I think we want to be very careful how we pigeonhole women who don't work. In fact, I don't think we should ever refer to a woman who stays home. I don't think let me say this better, whether or not you receive a paycheck has absolutely no reflection on how much time you have to give. Because if you're a stay-at-home mother, you have even less time to give than a man who's employed and going out to work. So if we could just keep that in perspective. But if you could, thank you.
We'll just keep So is there...
So, this is the best part of working with Sister Catherine. She really challenges you. I think it was 4 questions in 1 statement, so I'll try.
Yeah, I listened more questions than 4. There were a lot more.
So, I think, what was the first question?
First one was when will the doors get finished? Doors, you do know that they've been facing a couple challenges and they're working on it. We do definitely, for sure. I don't think it's going to be until Ramadan. We ourselves would like to wait until then. Irrigation, definitely, we are on top of it, and pretty much the leaks have been detected, and we are actually working on getting them fixed at this point of time. So I don't see much waiting on it. We just said, okay, because it's rainy season, we're going to shut it off for now and take care of fixing those leaks, but definitely it's on. It's not on the back burner. It is working, alhamdulillah. So those 2 I can answer. And what else was for me? The doors, yes, they have been having a couple challenges, but overall, with the fire safety department coming in and all those inspections coming along, it has worked out. Everything's passed. The inspection has passed. It's just the alignments were not working out for the doors, and a couple hurdles here and there. The guy who was doing it just disappeared. Stuff like that happened, and that's how it got delayed. Ceiling to be sealed off because the final plan is that the ceiling has to go up high 2 more feet. So I'm not sure if they are planning to seal it at this point of time because, again, next year, that's the next thing to be done, is the ceiling to be raised high a little bit. Ceiling, I don't know, but the doors, I don't expect it to run a little further into the new year. Finishing the men's bathroom, we really wanted to. We just, the guy never showed up. It's the construction committee.
And who's the construction committee? If it's the construction committee, who's the construction committee?
It's Brother Saeed Khan, Brother Muhammad Ali, and Zahir Siddiq.
And who drives from the board to ensure that they fulfill their commitment?
It's me and Brother Munir Morov, both of us, we kind of follow along with them.
Okay. So, okay.
We'll try our best, inshallah. Hopefully, New Year, we should be able to get those doors open into the New Year.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nabu. Welcome to the new board, and Jazakallah, Sister Sabine, for helping our community and doing a great job. So I do have two questions about the new board. So the first question is, what is MCC plan in terms of safety of the community members? Because when I come here with my family and pray and attend all these events, I'm constantly asking myself, what has MCC done in the wake of everything else that happened in other mosques attacked? What is our evacuation plan? Are we doing drills? Can someone just walk here and just harm people? What are we doing? Are we just sitting and saying, inshallah, it won't happen? So I would like to know what the board is going to do about that. The second question that I have is that I would like to see this community having some programs about diversity, because we cannot fool ourselves and think that we are a united community and some of the ethnicity here are not having hard time for simply being different. I personally don't experience any problem, but I know people that look like me are having problems here. And they have many examples. In the past, I have sent email to the MCC manager on behalf of those people and say that some of the members don't feel welcome. So I would like the MCC to have some specific program to really explain what racism is and how it is against Islamic values. I would like to see more of those, because this is my community and I would like to feel comfortable and welcome, and all people that look like me, that don't look like me, should feel welcome as well. And that is not the case actually. Jazakallah.
So I'll go first, inshallah. So first thing, Sister Catherine, I would like to just make one comment before I answer the question. When I actually made a comment on people who are not working, my thing was not about pigeonholing a woman, but where I was getting to, I should have been more clear, is people who are perhaps don't have a commute. And that's where I basically was saying about the crowdedness and getting from one place to the other, because I have a pretty long commute and I do it on a daily basis. So I spend quite a bit of time in commute both ways. So to me, I have, I guess I will be the first one to admit so much appreciation I have for women who actually stay at home. My wife has always been a homemaker, and I call her, she's on the job 24 hours. I may be just working, 12 hours. She's on the job 24 hours. So I never underestimate in terms of how much effort, women who especially stay at home, moms and wives are. So I hope that, that is clear. And then the next thing about, in terms of what I would like to basically, bring in terms of the activities. One of the questions was that, if I were to say, name just one activity, and the question was from the perspective, if I can understand, is that how can I get people to volunteer for those activities, especially to carry out the activities, whether it be, giving back to the community as part of something. So if those activities it is again really reaching out to my network of people that I know over the 20 years that I have built around here, and then be able to leverage their, whatever the areas of specialty they have, whether in technology, whether in religion, whether in sports, or whether in whatever the I guess, vocation they are in, is to bring in and give back to the community so as to really organize something which can really bring people to the community here, okay? So if my objective is to attract people to this center in whatever way possible, this is what I'm going to do, okay? So this is what I intend to do, inshallah, and then see how successful I am. The second thing is about, how am I going to bring people to one place, such as, town hall, to get some feedback from them to say that, what can we do better moving forward, is again, I can see the challenge. Even today, right now, as we can see, is, one of the things that I've learned is that, Friday night is, or Friday evening for that matter, is never a so-called a good time. What I have observed in so many years of living in Pleasanton, or even, close to Dublin, is that most of these communities are bedroom communities. I call them bedroom communities because most of the people who live here, they work somewhere else. And Fridays is the most, I guess, difficult time to come back to home, okay? So I'm not taking the excuses of the people. Today it so happened that I was at home. Even if I wasn't home or wasn't working from home, I would have made it here because of, the way that the timings that I have. However, not everybody is fortunate enough to basically be back in time and have enough energy to come in to these things. So perhaps, organizing it at different times would make sense, and also to give them some, incentive to come here. Just to basically say meet and greet in town hall is to just, entice them with something else. Some speakers, some other activity, and say, hey, I'm organizing this thing, but along with it, you slip something else with it and say, okay, I'm going to do this thing as well, such as, let's have this feedback session, let's have this dialogue, let's find out, what else can we do better here, and then, move forward from that part. So that will be my thing. So.
Yeah, Sister Catherine, I think, fortunately, I was very specific. I was not very broad. I said only community service. so maybe I probably have few examples which can be practically used, right? So one is how to engage youth in community service. So I don't know how many of you have gone to food bank and done volunteering. The volunteering in the food bank is a kind of a fun activity. What they do is they look at the food stuff, categorize it, look at what the expiry dates are. So there's one person who's actually doing that. There's another person who actually takes all those different food items and puts it in different slots, and then one packs it, and then the whole package is done. So that kind of a group activity, if we take our youth there, I'm sure that will be something that they can follow up and do that. So that's one thing. Because in MCC we do a lot of stuff of collecting those food items. We have the food banks. We put it there, and it's a black box. Nobody knows how it goes there, and from there what happens. So the whole process of seeing that end to end, from where you collect the box, taking it to the food bank, and actually being part of that process in terms of how you sort it and put it in a package and package it and send it out, it gives you a good feeling, right? Not just giving something out. so that's one activity which we can do specifically. The other one is, I'm sure all of you have heard of Islamic Relief, right? It's a youth-based organization. They not only do this stuff of just packing food and delivering it, but they also have programs where youth can go to certain countries like Syria and the countries where the war-torn zones are, take these food packets and actually deliver. So that's a long shot, but that's something which we can look at. And then the other areas is homeless and others. There's a lot here in Oakland and San Francisco. If you look at Thanksgiving or Ramadan time, we should go there as a community. And to the other sister's question, we should not be looked at just as just a Muslim organization, but an organization which can do service. So if we can kind of be part of that, that will be the third example. So.
Would anyone else like to comment on the sister's question about making the masjid a more welcoming place for everyone?
So I'll take a stab at answering the sister's question about security. So security is something that I know for sure that the board has discussed and we think about a lot, especially around the time of Ramadan and especially around some of the basic ins and outs of the programs that happen here, like Sunday school and some of the other child programs. I'm not going to tell you that we're perfect and everything has been done, but I think it's also fair to say that we have thought a lot about some things. Like, for example, in Ramadan, we have hired a security guard. We have people that do rounds in the building. Part of the challenge is that MCC is a very large. When you go on Google Maps and you look at an aerial view of MCC, MCC is a very large building that has multiple entryways, and alhamdulillah, we only have about 3 main entrances, right? Sometimes people get in their mind that we should have somebody at all spots, at all times, looking at everything. And with a property this size, it's actually very difficult. We do have quite a large area of the property that's under camera surveillance. So there are areas to improve, but we are taking that security into account on a continuous basis.
Doors don't open after Isha.
Yes. So there's the doors are on automatic locks. They don't open after Isha.
But prior to Sabine, there was a fuller security assessment done of MCC, of the perimeter from the top in coordination with the FBI and the Pleasanton Police Department. So there was a full analysis done of what was needed and what a future goal and what we can do right now. So actually, some of our cameras here are actually state of the art, and we have 27 recording and backup and door controls. And we've also had 2 trainings here where the security person came in and has actually spoken about what we can expect to do both inside the mosque and outside the mosque, and what's actually realistic. Because frequently we get calls for armed security, but actually when the person who's a security consultant comes in and talks about it, you can actually see the danger of armed guards. For multiple reasons. So I think that a suggestion would be to have that consultant maybe come in again and do a town hall about security, but people should feel quite confident that MCC is actually very safe when it comes to its ability to see everything that's going on at the premises and its door control and for Friday control, and specifically when we have large events for the outside security that's hired.
And with regards to the evacuation plan and everything, we've had a security team who actually created an evacuation plan. They had everything, all the posters are ready. We were just coming along with the new changes in the facility, a couple walls coming in and out. So a few changes need to be done on the plan that was made for evacuation. So as soon as it's going to be revised, I think we'll be ready to post them. So there is an actual evacuation plan in place as well, prepared. So inshallah ta'ala, that is there. And then with your question regarding the programming for racial discrimination, Abu, definitely, like I said, MCC is always here listening, and what you want is what we will arrange. And Bismillah, if that's something that you feel others have experienced over here, and if it is time that we really talk about it, we arrange something and bring everybody on the platform and speak and get everybody on the same page. We are all one unit, and we have to understand as Muslims that there's no difference. Inshallah ta'ala, we maybe be able to achieve that, inshallah.
Are there any other questions from the congregation here? No, I know we do have a hard stop coming for Isha shortly. If there's, is there any other comment or reflection any of the board members here would like to make before we wrap up? Okay, so did want to take one opportunity here. Sister Sabine, you've been exemplary in your leadership and in your support of this community, and just as a small token of our community's appreciation, we just have a little gift for you, and if you could accept that, let's bring that up. But Jazakallah khair for all of your efforts.
Jazakallah khair. So, Assalamu alaikum, my name is Munir. I usually try to stay in the background for this, but the Election Commission asked me to do this because we've worked really closely as when you've been president and then as board director. So I've really admired your work ethic, and I've learned a lot from you, Sister Sabine. So I always think about you and this quote that I have in my office about why we work at the masjid and why we serve this community. And it's from Dali Mugahed, who is an amazing community activist herself. So she says, when I was young, I served because I thought the work needed me. Now I serve because I need the work. You're not necessary for the work. The work is necessary for you. Serve because it's your calling. Serve because it's your purpose. Serve because it's your privilege to serve. So that really encapsulates what I think about, mashallah, the service that you've done for this community, mashallah, in the past.
Thank you. With that, I'd really like to share when Catherine said with young children, I believe one of you said that too, that with young children, how was I able to do all of this? Is that not many of you know, mashallah, my father, he used to serve as a board of director at his masjid back home in India. And I remember as an 8-year-old, as a 10-year-old, as an 11-year-old, going with him to his meetings. And his meetings used to be after Isha prayer, and he used to take me for Isha, and I would just fall asleep next to him. I would wake up, and I see him still in the meeting, and he'd be like, go back to sleep, I'll carry you when we are done. So when I finally took charge after you, Catherine, my father's like, how does someone become a leader of a community? I don't consider myself a leader, though. I was just a representative overall. So I'm like, this happens when you take a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old with you to your meetings. She eventually goes to her meeting with her younger one. If not all of you know, I was pregnant with my 4th child as a board of director. He was 6 months old when I took the position of the president, and I used to bring his car seat to the meeting, subhanAllah, and I just hope and pray that all of our children follow our footsteps of serving the community, because only through service that you can achieve your path to Allah. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, Jazakallah khair. Sister Catherine, maybe if you, as one former board president, would like to. So I just want to say that we work, 5 hours, 10 hours a week together often. It's so often that she brings her child or her children with her to whenever we meet, and you have to interrupt our meeting sometimes to go take care of them. They see you working, and may Allah bless you and make Jazakallah khair.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You've been my mentor.
Jazakallah khair. So we're coming up on Isha now. If the Election Commission has any final parting words. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you for those who attended online. If you have any questions, so this board is ready to serve you. So they're always accessible by bod@mcceastbay.org. So email them, respond, and they will respond, and hold them accountable, inshallah. Hold them accountable to what they said. This is all on record here, inshallah. And let's make sure that this community continues to flourish with all of our help. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.